Right, please make your way over. I'm going to start the safety briefing shortly. This is important. Phones away, please. This is a live railway environment and extremely dangerous. Regardless of how many times you worked out here, we must ensure that we are ready to work, make sure risks have been assessed, and that you understand them before accessing the infrastructure. We all want to make it home safe at the end of our shift. Right, for those who don't know me, my name is Jack. I've been working on the railway for many years, as most of this group knows. I have to ask before we start, is everyone fit and well? Is there anything I need to be aware of? Does everyone understand the rest period rules? The 12-hour gaps between shifts? Okay. Good to see that you're all correctly kitted out, wearing the appropriate personal protective equipment, and with the tools and equipment provided and approved for the task. Alright, first things first, I'm going to sign into the Sentinel app and show you all my card, allowing you to check that my controller of site safety competency is valid. Whilst I'm doing that, you can get your cards out ready for scanning. We'll be working in a separated 2 meter plus worksite adjacent to the up line as you look out at the tracks behind me. The first line is the up main, the second line over is the down main. Both lines are a maximum of 40 miles per hour. When we walk up along this access road to the break in the fence of the substation, the first line is, Sarah?
The up line.
Spot on. The first line is the up main. The city will be to our left, so all upline trains will approach from our right. Obviously, downline trains will come from our left. It won't make any difference to our work, as we'll be maintaining at least 2 meters from the nearest line at all times, and I have appointed Dan to be our site warden today. I've been through Dan's kit and checked his Sentinel card, and he's good to go. Dan will always be standing 2 meters from the up main line. It is important that you always make sure that you're in the safest working position. Remain alert to what is happening around you, and react accordingly to stay safe. Stay alert. If you encroach within 2 meters, Dan will give a warning shout. Dan? Get back! Thank you, Dan. At that point, you should acknowledge him and move back. If not, you will hear short, sharp blasts of his horn. Dan, if you could. Thanks, Dan. The work site will be defined by points on track. All of our works are within these points. If you are adjacent to or have walked past any points, you've gone too far. Our site warden will be watching for this, as will I, and we will be working closely together. Any questions so far? Okay. With my PIC hat on today, we'll be digging trial holes around the substation using insulated hand tools, which have had pre-use inspection. As we are breaking ground, these works have been planned as per the industry requirements. I have a valid permit to dig, which details the known services at the site. Sarah has been trained and assessed as competent to use the Cat and Jenny, which, for those of you who don't know, is the specialist equipment we use to locate and identify known buried services. She will also detect and record any additional services at the site before we start work. We will stick to the plan for the duration of the works. If things change, we will reassess and only start work again when it is safe to do so. Now, you may have noticed it's a hot day today, and nobody is asking you to run a 5K, so just take your time. Do it nice or do it twice. We'll be taking regular breaks to rehydrate throughout the day. Any questions on the work we're doing here today? No? Okay. I've read through the hazard directory, and there are details of buried services which are relevant to our works. Our planned method of work is separated with site warden warning. There are hazards present on site. Just from here I can see various tripping hazards, loose cables, scrap rail and vegetation. And you know there are likely to be more as we approach the site. So keep a solid footing at all times and avoid slips, trips and falls. On arrival at the site, we'll complete a point of work risk assessment to identify and detail additional hazards and control measures. As you can clearly see behind me, this area is electrified by 25,000 volt overhead lines. We do not have any isolation, and therefore we must consider the overhead line equipment to be live at all times. You and the tools being used must, at all times, keep a minimum of 9 feet or 2.75 meters from all parts of the overhead line equipment. Understood? Okay. Access point. Well, we all know where it is. We're stood here. This is our access and egress point and the location of our welfare facilities. This is very close to many lineside residents, so please avoid unnecessary noise, swearing and littering. Dan, how are our working limits defined? Points on adjacent track. Good, you're listening, thanks Dan. All the emergency contact details are within my safe work pack. This includes the signaller, electrical control operator, local control, etc., etc. Should anything happen to me, the safe work pack, or SWP, is in my left-hand pocket. If you need to contact the signaller in an emergency, use the signal post telephone at our site of work. Alright, I am the qualified first aider and will be the designated first aider for our group today. I carry a mini first aid kit in my bag, and we have the full kit and AED, that's the automated emergency defibrillator for those who are not sure, at the welfare facility. Any issues, just come and see me. The nearest hospital details are within the safe work pack. It's approximately a 5-minute drive away. In an emergency, call 999 and direct them to our access point, where a member of the group will meet them and direct them to our site. You must not attend work or sign this briefing if you are under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And by signing this, you're confirming you're fatigue-free and fit and healthy for work. Any questions? Okay, Sarah, how many lines at site?
2.
Peter, who's the first aider? You are. Stephen, where will the SWP be with all the contact details? In your left-hand pocket. Very good. Right, finally, shout out. The shout-out principle represents the role you play in alerting others if you see any unsafe or unacceptable conditions. Everyone working for and with Amy is supported and encouraged to say stop for the plan to be reassessed, ensuring it is safe to proceed. We must look out for ourselves and those around us. Zero Code reminds us to reflect on our training, knowledge and instructions and assess equipment, tools and clothing before starting or continuing work. As we work in environments that can change very quickly, we must stay focused and vigilant. It's everyone's personal responsibility to understand, communicate, and live by the Zero Code with zero exceptions. Not following the Zero Code means you choose not to work for Amy. Let's work together to ensure everyone returns home safe and well every day, okay? Okay, thanks for listening. Now please sign this document to show your acceptance of the Safe Work Plan briefing whilst I log it on the Sentinel app, and then we'll get started. Thank you.